Throughout history, there have been thousands of missing person cases that have never been solved. While a majority of these can easily be explained away, and the culprit just managed to get away with it, free of consequence, thanks to the internet, certain stories have made the rounds, of disappearances under circumstances so mysterious that they have achieved legendary status, with people trying to solve the cases that the police couldn't. Without further ado, here are 3 terrifying disappearances that nobody was ever able to explain. Missing in the Panama Rainforest. This story took place during 2014, and it is considered one of the most terrifying missing person cases to date. Everything you are about to see/hear during the next couple of minutes is 100% real. Lisanne Froon, 22 years old, and her best friend, Chris Cremens, 21 years old. 2 Dutch girls that we can see pictured here in the airport saying goodbye to their parents, as they were about to leave Amsterdam on a study trip to Panama to learn Spanish. They arrived there safely and got settled. Presumably, on April 1st, 2014, during their stay, they decided to go on a hike to a beautiful hiking trail known as Sendero del Pianista. Little did they know, this would be the last time anyone would ever see them alive again. However, thanks to a cell phone recovered by the coroners, it is possible for us to see them both on later dates, even hours before the demise, thanks to the photos that they took while they were on the hiking trail. Many things seem to be playing against them, as we can clearly see from the photos. They managed to somehow find themselves alone, on a trail with heavy foot traffic from both tourists and locals alike. On top of that, we can tell from the way they are dressed that they were in no way, shape or form prepared for the intense hike ahead of them. To this day, it is unknown how they managed to steer from the clearly defined hiking trail, finding themselves unknowingly heading deeper and deeper into the jungle, nor how long it took them to figure out that they were completely lost, somewhere deep in the Panama jungle. As our photos go on, we can see how little by little they're losing daylight. They must have at some point gathered that there was something wrong, because the cell phone's call log showed that one of them tried to dial the number for the emergency services. Unfortunately, they were never able to reach them due to poor signal. It must have been nerve-wracking for these poor girls to be aware of the fact that they were going to be alone and lost in the jungle at night soon, because a call log shows that they not only dialed the emergency service number for Panama, but the Dutch emergency service number as well, sadly to no avail. Records show that the girls were desperately trying to call for help for a whole week. Little by little, pictures start to become scarce, as we can assume that they were clinging on to whatever little battery they had left. However, at 3 a.m., 8 days after the disappearance, the phone was turned on to snap a picture. The location in which this picture was taken is completely unknown. It is also unclear what they were trying to photograph. It wasn't a photo taken by accident or just because. The photo isn't blurry and there's a clear intent to get something on camera. Whatever that may be, we don't know. 2 months after the disappearance, in June 2014, rescue services came across a backpack that belonged to one of the girls. Inside it, there was some neatly organized underwear and personal items, and right by the backpack, they found a shoe, with a decaying severed foot lodged inside it. DNA testing confirmed that the foot belonged to Chris Cremers. Close by as well, they found a pelvic bone picked clean of any meat. DNA testing confirmed that this bone belonged to Lisanne. To this day, it is still unknown what happened to these girls. In spite of combing the area numerous times, their remains were never found. It is known that the girls took approximately 90 photos, which the authorities refused to release to this very day. Instead of treating this like an unfortunate, yet by-the-book, animal attack, the Panamanian government launched an aggressive investigation of the trail and its surrounding areas, with groups of dozens of armed men, which begs the question, what exactly did the police see on their cell phone to warrant such an aggressive response? We may never know. What do you think caused these girls' unfortunate demise? If you have any theories, feel free to leave them down in the comments section below. Brandon Swanson. For this next terrifying story, I want you to try to put yourself in Brandon's shoes and try to imagine what it was like for him to live through this horrifying experience. Brandon Swanson was a 19-year-old who disappeared suddenly and without a trace on May 14, 2008. To make matters worse, this incident took place while Brandon was talking to his father on the phone. On the day of his disappearance, Brandon was driving at night through dark country roads, trying to get back to his house. While driving somewhere in Minnesota, he suddenly had a bad car accident which left him with a broken down car in the middle of nowhere. Brandon, fortunately, suffered no injuries from the car crash and managed to get out of the car. He decided to call his father. Brandon explained that his car was stuck in a ditch and that he had no idea of where exactly in rural Minnesota he happened to find himself in. Now, keep in mind, this was 2008, long before pretty much everybody had a GPS on them at all times thanks to their cell phone. Brandon remained on the phone with his father, who had already hopped inside his own car and had taken off to try and find Brandon. It is recorded that their call lasted about 45 minutes. Unfortunately, Brandon would never be found by his father, nor would anyone know of him ever again. Brandon told his father he was going to start walking along the road, trying to find any sort of road signs, landmarks, anything, to give him an idea of where he was. Eventually, seeing how it was nighttime, he happened to see, off in the distance, something that appeared to be the lights of a small village, or a small town of some sort, and it was at this point that Brandon was doomed. Brian Swanson, Brandon's father, a man who knew rural Minnesota like the back of his hand, claims that Brandon saying he saw a village caught him off guard because, according to him, there was no town anywhere near the place where the police found Brandon's broken down car. In fact, the place where the car was found is in the middle of nowhere, many miles away from any form of civilization. This begs the question, what exactly were those lights that Brandon saw in the distance? And, just as the call reached the 45-minute mark, while Brandon's father tried to get his son to make out any details of the place he was in, something terrifying happened. While Brandon was trying his best to make out where he was and getting closer to the lights that he saw off in the distance, he suddenly yelled out, "Oh shit!" And immediately after, the phone call ended, and Brandon was never seen again. Many theories have arose about what happened to Brandon. Some claim he was attacked by a serial killer. Others have gone as far as to say that he got abducted by aliens. Even still, with the efforts of thousands of volunteers, search and rescue dogs, and hundreds of policemen combing the area, Brandon was never found, and to this day remains missing. YouTuber goes missing. On YouTube, there is a particularly interesting genre of YouTubers whose entire channels are dedicated to exploration. To those who are unaware of what explorers do, these people basically break into old buildings, mines, bunkers, caves, you name it. It is an incredibly dangerous hobby and can often end with disastrous consequences. People lose limbs, get concussions, get attacked by crazy people, or in the worst case scenarios, are never seen again. The YouTuber I'm about to show you went missing during an exploration out in the middle of nowhere, and to this day, his whereabouts are still a mystery. Kenny, who goes by the YouTube alias Snakebit McGee, is or was a 47-year-old explorer who went missing exploring the Nevada desert, around the area known as Sheep Mountain. This spot is incredibly dangerous and has taken the lives of many people who came before Kenny. While it would be easy to just assume that, unfortunately, Kenny met the same fate as all the other people who've lost their lives in this godforsaken spot of the Nevada desert. The details surrounding his disappearance left many people asking questions. On the 17th of October of the year 2014, Kenny uploaded a video of him in the middle of the desert near Nelly's military base. In this video, he claims that once, around this area, he found a strange cave with the entrance shaped like an M. And, even as a seasoned explorer, this cave made him unexplainably frightened. He said that as he approached the entrance, his body started vibrating, and it worsened the closer he got to the cave. After many people in the comments urged him, and even dared him to go back and get footage of this strange cave that he claimed to have found, he caved and agreed to go back and document the place. Some time passed, and Kenny uploaded 2 more videos. But eventually, he decided to make good on his promise and made his way to the Nevada desert once again, in search of this strange cave. This was, unfortunately, the last time anyone would ever hear of Kenny. Search and rescue teams, with the help of his video and the comment section, had a rough idea of where he was heading and started an exhaustive search, combing the area from top to bottom. Unfortunately, it is rather well known that getting lost in the Nevada desert is essentially a death sentence. However, some traces of Kenny were found. Near an abandoned mine shaft, search and rescue teams found a cell phone that belonged to Kenny a week after he was officially declared missing. Unfortunately, the cell phone held no information of Kenny's current whereabouts or where he might have been before disappearing. To this day, no trace of Kenny has ever been found. So far, a pretty sad yet by the books missing persons case. What makes this weird though, is that through the YouTube comments, someone warned Kenny that he shouldn't go looking for the cave. And that if he found the cave, he shouldn't go anywhere near it, because, according to the commenter, if he entered the cave, he would never come back out. This comment was made months before Kenny ever took the second trip. The comment seemed to know exactly what cave Kenny was talking about, and he also seemed to know about something incredibly dangerous living within or around the cave. Kenny even acknowledged the comment and responded to it, asking the commenter to elaborate, but the commenter never replied again. Maybe Kenny never made it and just got swallowed up by the desert and died trying to find the cave. But this seems unlikely as, according to everyone who ever knew him, Kenny was a seasoned explorer. This was far from his first rodeo, so him just losing his way seems unlikely. Some people say he got bitten by a rattlesnake, a common critter scattered all over the Nevada desert. However, if this were the case, why were his remains never found? The most intriguing theory of them all, however, is that he somehow managed to find the cave, and with camera in hand and flashlight in the other, entered the cave, documenting the inside, until he ran into someone or something and never made it back out. What do you think of these cases? Do you have any theories as to what may have happened to any of the three people we talked about? If so, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell in order to see more videos like these. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends if you feel inclined to do so. It would greatly help me out, and I'd appreciate it very much. This is Surreal Media, wishing you all a very pleasant evening. Bye bye.